through some traffic here. Been a minute since I had the Ducati out. I'm literally just going to the car wash, so don't mind my jeans. Should probably let this warm up a little bit too. It's been quite cold here in Calgary. We had a crazy windstorm the other night, and temperatures overnight were kind of like spring. It was minus, you know, just minus, barely below freezing in the Alpine, in the mountains outside the city, and plus 5 or 6 here, so pretty close to being able to snow. There we go. And so going to take it super easy on my rear tire because yeah, it's pretty worn through down the center line. The next plan is to for anyone who's been a real OG follower, when I burned through my Monster rear tire twice, I ended up replacing it with a Dunlop Q5S, so the Q5 Street, and I'm going for a little bit less V-shape, so I'm going to get, it's a 180 55 17 instead of a 180 60, and so hopefully that'll give me a little more contact patch, be a little more freeway friendly, because you guys know I do a lot of cruising on the freeway to work. Oh, this feels so good. Feels so smooth compared to riding the 700 all the time. Nice. Who's missed the Ducati? I'd like to actually get a long road trip in this year on the Ducati out to British Columbia, into the Rockies, maybe all the way to the coast. We're going to see about time off and stuff, and maybe set up a little pannier bag on the back. So I like to wear a backpack, so backpack and a tail bag should be good. Not a pannier, just like a tail bag. And then I think we'll be good to go. Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. Get the quick shift moving. Passing the police, we'll just take it easy. City cruising. Reminds me of that time I made that video, if you could daily a V2. But funny story, I've been watching a ton of videos on Yami Noob about the new V2 and just like the toned down version. And I think eventually, you know, I'm totally sold on this bike, you know, unless I picked up a V4. But I think if I was making a video about this versus the other one, the new one, I would say I like to be scared. I like being scared. I like having a bike that is, you know, a little over the top if you hit that 10/10ths. And this is definitely, you know, after 50 years of riding, man, 155 horsepower used to be, you know, Moto GP bike. Like, this used to be super bike tech. And, you know, we never had all the aids in the old bikes. I had the Yamaha 1100 back in the day, and that was basically the same engine they had in the VMAX. No ABS, no traction control, no lean angles, obviously, no wheelie control. Not that you could wheelie that beast. Yeah. But yeah, there's so much in these bikes now that I just think, why not have a little fear factor? Gotta love it. Sunday stroll. Welcome to my Sunday stroll. If you've been watching just recently, I've been talking about new Ducatis, and man, if you don't know, they have 0% financing on 2024 new Ducatis. So that's pretty tempting. But I keep going through the lineup, and as much as I'd like to ride that new single cylinder 698, the Supermoto or Hypermotard in Ducati World, I couldn't imagine it replacing this bike. You know, this would be giving up any like long haul highway. You know, obviously I ride fast, but I'm not ready to only have 700s and, you know, go back to vibrations on the highway. I mean, my gas is kind of the limit, because the whole idea is just to get me to where I'm riding. But I'd still like to demo it. So maybe I'll demo that. I would actually like to demo that, and then one of the new V2s, either the Panigale or the Street Fighter that replaces this one, and just see what they're all about. I can't imagine wanting less, but I guess there's a place for that for people who don't want the, you know, seat of the pants rush that I do. Oh, city traffic. Whatever happened to when there was no traffic on Sundays? Up. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, car wash, pressure sprayer. Literally going to do this once because the bike's been not clean this year. Just hit it with some soap. Especially try to get that radiator cleaned up a little bit. But you can see, it's pretty immaculate. Won't take long. There we go. You know, definitely just stay away from my electronics. And if you remember my videos last year, we had water rationing and we weren't allowed to use our hoses at home. Seems ridiculous, but welcome to the Rockies. Just for fun, I'll probably edit this into some slow-mo. Slow-mo sexy Street Fighter. Nice.
Thank you.
I love it. So nice. Some of you are probably laughing. You're thinking like, oh, it's the end of June. Like it's actually the 22nd or 21st, 22nd, I think. Like, it's already summer. Why haven't you washed your bike yet? And the thing is, here on the edge of the Rockies in Canada, we've definitely had some warm weather, and it's heated up, you know, during the days into the 20s or like into the 70s and maybe even 80s Fahrenheit. But in the morning, I go to work really early. And so at 8 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 in the morning, it's still 5 degrees or less. And so the mornings have been really cold, and I would honestly, in cold weather, I'd rather ride the 700 and not worry about my tires having grip. Anyone who's had a sport bike or a naked, you know, hyper bike, whatever you want to call this, knows that there's really no grip until you're about 10 Celsius. And so those mornings are pretty sketchy, and you're just kind of skidding around. And June for us is also, you know, a time when we could have rain at any minute. It's actually supposed to rain today. I just wanted to get this done and then have the bike all clean when I take it into the shop, into Ducati. But also just had the time because I usually always have Sundays off. But yeah, it's been just a weird year where cold temperatures are hanging around, and, you know, gravel on the roads. Everything's been really late for bikers. Even the adventure bikers have been out. Some of the places where I've shown you guys in videos, some of the roads still have snow. And so that's pretty wild this late in the season. It's not totally unusual in Canada, but yeah, it's getting late. And it's definitely time, you know, once it warms up, to go, you know, straight to street mode on the Ducati and just feel the love again. Such a great bike. And so yeah, today is just a quick wash and wipe. And then if I'm keen, I'll go wash the other bike, but you know, it's like dirt bikes. You don't really feel like washing them. It's just going to get dirty again. But I know. Keep it clean. You won't wear out your parts, blah, blah, blah. If anyone hasn't seen this OEM windscreen, if you look close, you can actually see the wiring behind. But there's a little triangle bracket here, so it's almost impossible to get in there and get all the water out, so you really have to fish around. And then we'll do a proper wipe and do a lube at home too. But this is just making me feel good. Very nice. Also just fussy being Ducati guy. Brand new cloths, never been wiped. So I always use the fresh one to do the paint. Love it. So good. Honestly, you know, I know I've had it for almost 2 years, but you know, I bought it in the fall at the end of, you know, kind of the season for us, and didn't get a ton of miles in. And then if you don't know, I had a really bad attempted theft, and so there's a ton of damage around my gas tank and my starter, and you know, gas tank was brand new, it's replaced, but all the little stuff, all those electronics, they're just expensive and timely. And so by the time I got the bike back from insurance and had it all back to brand new, it was November. And so I pretty much had 1 month of riding in my first season and then never got the bike out again. And so really this kind of feels like 1 year to me, not 2 years. But yeah, like I was saying before, when I go through all the new bikes and the crazy finance options, and yeah, like cool now, you know, Ducati's making thumpers, and there's a, you know, 700 that revs out over 10,000 RPM. All that stuff is super cool, but as a trade, if I was gonna, you know, give up this bike, I honestly don't know if I would give it up for anything other than a V4. And the V4 is literally an extra $10,000. Give these wheels a quick wipe, but I'll do them at home. So yeah, as you know, especially as an old guy, I'm not looking for the latest super tech, the lightest, you know, would I give up 30 horsepower and save, you know, 20 or 30 pounds? No, I like the power. And so, like I was saying when I was riding in, part of the thing I like is, you know, this is a bike that can still scare me a little bit, and that should be on everybody's list. Don't you want to be scared? It's a hard life, hey? First world problems. There's a good look at my nearly dead tire. You can see still full rubber. A little bit of the marker here. I'm right at the marker, but you can start to see the belt now. And this full metal belt the guys were explaining to me at the shop, it's not, you know, it's not just gonna immediately fail and leave you stranded with, you know, in the ditch somewhere. It will wear, just like my last one that I had. I wore it right to the metal, which was a little late, and then had it replaced as soon as I could. Nice. Yeah, boys. Nice. Yeehaw! Love it. It's one of the reasons I go so easy on the spray and just stay out of any electronics or everything. I really blasted it one time when I was riding in the rain and it got all muddy, and then had a really hard time starting after. So yeah, back to washing my hand for the rest of the year. Yeah. So tempted just to rev it out, and I just don't want to spin out. Well, look at the trike up there. Crazy. Yeah. Back on the road. I feel like those squid kids with the skinny jeans. I'm literally like 3 minutes from my house. I've got such OCD, I'm like, oh, there's a little piece under there that's not clean. I'll have to go through it again. But thanks for tuning in. Lots of good stuff coming. Hope you all having a great summer. I'm definitely ready to get some riding in, and that's going to include some highway miles and some twisties, so looking forward to being back on the Ducati again. Love this thing. So good.